Peaceful warrior. The 80s is the year that we were born. It's where we stretch to have a good time. And it's kind of a distraction in the sense that when we need ourselves to be in tune with ourselves, we need some moments away for distributions, for allocations, for realignment, for contributions. Then that's when we come back to the real world, so-called real world. So through meditation, we have a different perspective. We formulate the solution to the problem that we may have faced. We never run away, we never give up, never surrender, never back down. Only to slow down, slow our mind down so we can proceed with a better outcome. With semi-distraction, it's like in nature, semi-distraction as in whatever you want to do to keep your mind away from that problems, because the problems, if you're thinking about the problems, it's going to overlap, it's going to compound, stack over, and there's going to be more problems. It's not going to solve if you're not going to step aside real quick to see from a different angle, different perspective, the perpetual motion that rising and allow healing to take place. That means that we allow to sit in meditation for growth. As we always teach that to our kids, to our students, the most important steps is to begin with resilience, with breathing deeply to regulate our nervous system, because we often hold our breath clenched tightly, and it's tensing up. It's not good for our internal system. We need to just breathe, take times when things get hard, when things get rough and tough, but we're tougher than that. So as we feel the feelings, when we sit and endure with patience, we can move past something that we don't acknowledge, but we first have to acknowledge it so we know to overcome it. We first have to feel it. We first have to experience it. We first have to, when we try to do something at first, we couldn't do it, we fail. That's when we learn, because if you don't fail, how can you learn? So in the moment, in the previous video that we talked a lot about failure, never give up. Because failure, we can learn from it. It's a great teacher as well too. So the things about distractions, that is pretty much is a way of just taking a step back to see the new point of view. And the problem don't disappear. It's always going to be there. If you suppress it, it's going to be kind of like volcano eruptions, and just going to explode, and you're going to go outrage and smash like hope. We don't want that. So we don't want to bury what's deep inside our heart or our mind, in our recesses of our mind. We want to be able to be in unison, be in harmony with ourselves. So we need to sit in meditation to center ourselves. That is a core value. That is the value of consciousness as in a stage mode. And that's where self-love is. Self-love, when you breathe in, you heal the traumas of the old wound of whatever that may be that we have, that we all gone through in childhood, in relationship, in at workforce as well too. So as we're feeling exactly as we are, with compassions, a little bit more extra love and kindness, a little bit more extra kindness will go a long way. We'll build more confidence within ourselves. We learn and be more happy and joyous, because happiness is the inside work, meaning that we look in, is within ourselves. Happiness is within ourselves. It's the journey that we are forgive ourselves for not allowing ourselves to see who we really are. And when we learn about who we are, nature of all things, of the universe, of our godlike force, we understand that the roots of the causes, and we could eliminate it, we could alleviate it, we could just transcend suffering, pain, despair, grief, and all that. We need to have the understanding. If we don't have the understanding, we're just gonna go all wild like a fire in a forest. But we don't want that. So we know that we lost connection within ourselves. So when we reconnect, we align being with nature, we will be able to not end up drinking, smoking, eating, whatever it is, just to distract ourselves. But that's not a possible way. There's many ways of doing it, but we're not running away. We're not consuming ourselves to death. We're not drinking ourselves to death. We're not smoking ourselves to death and running away from the problem. That's running from the problem. But it could be a solution if it's just momentarily, for that moment. So The unfortunate thing is that we perpetually doing the things that is not serving us. So we must discover what that is, so we can deal with it in the proper sense of valuing ourselves, to dig deep to the root cause of the issue, so we can know the truth. However, sometimes it's the very opposite of it, like taking a step back once again to actually get clarity. What happens by feeling it when we sit in meditation, for example, right? Or reflection, take a step outside, walk in a park, walk around with your neighbor, whatever it is, to just let your mind be free. If you just perpetually just clinging on to that problem, how are you going to release it? You're going to latch onto it so tightly, it's going to break. You're going to break yourself, and that's going to be a problem. So, as we look inwardly, as I mentioned multiple times, it's because it's all about looking inward, not out there, because we have no control over what's out there. That's unconscious behavior that we do it on autopilot. It has caused traumas for all of us. So, once again, inwardly is the key to my heart spirit. That's the 3 pillars. That's the peaceful warrior spirits with the gratitude for understanding yourself, understanding others. In order for you to understand others, you first have to understand who you are. So sit with it, take times, and then work hard to overcome those issues. Because there's so many issues, we got to use the tissue to wipe our tears. In order for you to reduce the tissue for the issue, we have 3 pillars of my heart spirits to take away all this thing that everything is permanent, because everything in life is impermanent, it's ever changing. So if you're going to latch onto something that is painful, you're going to be in that state of just low energies, and that's when you need to stop giving that energy to the old behavior if you want to ascend. Otherwise, you might relapse. This is just something that works for all sentient beings, from militaries, from veterans, from those who go into traumas, relationships, teacher as well too, and all those that we need to focus on, which is something for more positivity, right? We shift ourselves, we shift the mindset, we emerge within the behavior of our image that we see with confidence and love and kindness. And that is something that is worthy of pursuing, is your own self, engaging in that pursuit for happiness, in behavior that is congruent to oneself. With peace of mind, I love a heart, baby. Thank you for viewing. Have a wonderful evening. And this will be more natural, because when you feel something that's not natural, because it's not good, it's just conflicting with who you are. Once again, peaceful warrior, gratitude, peace of mind, love heart. Peace out.